Hey everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Craft. I got requested to do a tutorial on this snowflake pendant. So what I've got is some white clay. This happens to be white Primo, rolled out to my thickest setting on my pasta machine. Alright, I've got a couple of rubber stamps, snowflakes, whatever your favorite rubber stamp of snowflakes is. This one happens to be an old Delta Stampede set, I believe is how you say it. So I'm going to just start by stamping in the clay. Alright. And then I'm going to take a couple of my cutters. Okay, I'm going to take one of my cutters, the largest cutter that I've got, the largest circle cutter, and then you're just going to decide where in your pattern you want to cut. Okay. Alright, and as simple as it sounds, I'm going to bake it just like that. I'm going to bake it on one of my tiles. And yes, I'm sorry, they're mirror tiles. Get over it. They were free in a box of junk, so that's why I use them. Meanwhile, while that's baking, and the reason I mentioned that about the tiles is I'm all about doing it cheaper, and cheaper is the way to go. I don't have all of the fancy tools, the latest, the greatest, none of that. I just have what I can find and use what I got. Been doing it for 10 years, so it works for me. Alright, I'm going to take just a ball of clay, and that might be a little large. And that might be a little large. And in my opinion, the secret to keeping your clay white, and I'm sure everybody who's ever talked about it has said the same thing: clean hands, clean work surface, a clean sheet of paper. Alright, so I'm just going to roll this in my palms. And make a sort of round bead. Okay. I'm going to take a Ziploc bag and some glitter. Okay, and because I've already done this project in blue, and I don't like to repeat myself, I'm going to do it this time in silver. So I've got some silver glitter, and this is just the cheapo glitter like you get at Walmart. And I'm going to put a little bit, and I mean a very little bit. That's probably way too much. And then I'm going to stick a hole in the bead first. And you're going to picture a line through your bead. and twist the bead as you're pushing. And then I'm going to roll it in my fingers. Alright. And all this is a a corsage pin or a hat pin. And we're going to take our bag of glitter, dunk the bead in, this white clay is a little fresh and a little sticky, so we're just going to roll it around in there until it's covered. And as you can see, this is a holographic glitter. And you just want to roll it until it's completely covered. Alright. Take it out. Let's see how sparkly it is. And then you're just going to bake it like that. Most of the glitter is laying down flat on the bead. You can roll it around a little bit, help it stick to the bead. I wasn't putting any pressure downwards when I was rolling the bead, just letting the weight of the bead roll it around. Alright, well, I'm going to put that on to bake and I'll be back. Alright, while that bakes, I've got a mold of a snowflake. And it's just a snowflake mold that I made myself. I'm going to roll this out again. I'm not going to use a piece I already have rolled out. I've got some Pearl-Ex powder that I'm going to dust my stamp with. Just a scrubby brush. Alright. And what you really want is you want the clay to go in the mold, but you don't want to have a lot of extra, because that would mean you're going to have to cut it off. And that would be okay, but this is a little bit of a complex stamp to be cutting off. And yes, I know that seemed like a weird way to do that, and it was, but now I'm just going to squish it against a hard surface. And I'm trying to squish all that extra clay that I can out. Alright. Now you can take your cutter, if I can find what I did with it, and you can either cut around it with your X-Acto, which is what I did the first time, or you can just shave it off like that. And that will leave you much less to have to clean up around. Alright. Now, take a towel and sorry if I blind you for a second. You just want to clean up around the shape. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just so you get the idea. Alright, so I would clean up all around that, and then I would embed a jump ring in the back of it. You could make two of them, squish the jump ring in between. I didn't do that on the pendant that I made, although I probably should have. It just gives you a better finished look. Alright. Alright. And if you wanted, you could put Pearl X powder on it. You could put more glitter on it. That's what I did on that one. Let's see. You could even, after it's done baking, stamp it with your Versamark and put embossing powder on it. Alright, so I'm going to embed a jump ring in the back of that one. Let's see. Let's go for a kind of a smallish jump ring. Okay. Alright, sorry I'm blinding you. And then we're going to bake it. Alright. Alright. Now I'm going to pop this off. And on this piece I used a combination of blue and silver Inca gold. On this one, I'm just going to use some silver and a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of the graphite. And because that still looks a little dark, I'll go back over it with the silver again. Alright. Wipe the crumbs off. Give it just a second to dry, and that's really all it takes. And then I'm going to buff it. Just got a... It's actually an old Delta Airlines napkin, but just a cloth napkin. And then just buff it out a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to make a back, just like I did with this one. And I'm going to put 2 jump rings in there, or a couple of twisted wire bails, or whatever. Alright, do that. Alright. Cut it out with the same size circle cutter. Grab a couple of jump rings. I'm going to place one of the jump rings in. I'm going to make an imaginary line straight across. Alright. Then you're going to decide which way you want this to face. I'm going to do it like that. little Bacon Bond, Liquid Sculpey, whatever you got. The only reason that you want to use that is because you don't want to mash the detail out of your piece. That allows you to just stick the pieces together and they're stuck. Alright, then I'm going to bake that. Alright, and then I'm going to come back and finish it up. Okay, sorry about that. I've just taken the same small stamp that I used to impress in the clay, and with Versamark I just stamped it in several places and sprinkled a little bit of the Ranger tinsel, embossing tinsel SnowFlake on it. I haven't embossed it yet though. And then I did the same thing with the SnowFlake. Alright. Alright, then I'm just going to emboss it. I heat my heat gun up first. You don't want to hold it in one place too long. You'll scorch your clay. Alright. Now it won't show up that much right now, but after we put the resin on, it really will. Alright. So I'm going to do the other side of the SnowFlake. Alright, and I really like the way I got a lot of the silver in one spot there. Alright, the only thing left to do is to put resin on, sorry about that, is to put resin on this piece and to put clear glaze on the bead. And that's just to keep the glitter from coming back off, or for any of the excess glitter to come off, because most of it is embedded in the clay. Alright, so I'm going to put resin on this piece and cure it, and I'll be back. Okay, now, if the resin pulls back away from the edge just a bit, I would go ahead and put another layer over the whole piece, because it is very difficult to patch without leaving a line. Alright, but I'm not going to worry about that right there. Alright, so I sealed this bead with some clear gloss. And I sealed this piece also with some clear gloss. Alright, so that's all I'm going to do is put these together with an eye pin and just a jump ring. Alright, that's basically all there was to it. I hope this was helpful, and that's it. Alright, I shall holler at y'all later. Bye now.